so much stun. You're stunned forever, man.
I had no idea. That feels dirty.
It's
Pretty
dirty.
great.
It's offlane players.
Yeah, yeah.
I heckin'
She's like,
love
I
Pango.
will take advantage of everything.
Perma stun? That doesn't sound balanced. What is this?
I feel in two ways about it, because I recently played this matchup of Pango into Io, and it's like, if you roll on the carry, because that's who you want out of CC, right? Then Io can reload them out of it and protect them. So you kind of end up rolling on Io a lot, which is also fine, to be honest. I think the lane is pretty hard. Pango is an offlaner that has very low health pool, and PA, with all of the long-range harass and chip that she does, is very good at taking advantage of that. If you're Pango and you try and swash away, she can keep catching you. She's going to be playing with this Disruptor who's also outputting a lot of magical damage. I think that lane is very difficult for him.
The PA out on T1 now, and I don't even know what question I was going to ask, Gods, but explain to me why they've gone it and why it works so dang well.
A few reasons. First and foremost, it's Gabby's signature hero. It's his most played hero in competitive Dota. It's probably his best hero, next to maybe like his Morphling or something. It's signature pick. I also just think it's really good right now. Like in the current meta, it's like a kind of sneaky, low-key, like solid hero. And this game around, it's I think a good matchup against the Wraith King. This is a hero that doesn't like to build MKB. And one of the big weaknesses of Pangolier is the laning stage. PA has a lot of kill threat in lane. The early Stifling Dagger with like Orb of Corrosion plus Blink Strike. Like you can, most of the time I feel like I've seen Pango play into PA, you're just feeding in lane because the lane is so rough for Pango.
Yeah. I think T1 are reading this though. They're banning offlaners, expecting Fnatic to just put the Pango on 4, and they do.
Yeah, you kind of have to. And it is a hero DJ likes to play, so no surprise to see Fnatic move that to 4 position, or maybe they're good chance they were planning that all along as well.
Does this make you feel slightly more confident with that Fnatic? You're like, okay, it doesn't matter too much or as much if the Pango is having a really rough time in lane, Gods?
Yeah, I think this is better. They're probably going to have to do a lot of wave pulling with Pangolier. I don't think they're going to play the lane, because even Tidehunter, I think, is going to feed versus PA Disruptor lane. Like, yeah, you can Anchor Smash and you've got Kraken, but I think there's just too much damage output between those. So it's probably going to be a lot of, like, lane shenanigans. Let's pull waves behind towers, pull creep waves to neutral camps, stuff like that. So I don't think Fnatic's trying to prioritize the laning phase. I think they're looking more at, like, their mid-game where they can mitigate a lot of the PA's damage output, but at the same time, picking Titan Disruptor, that's a little weird, little suboptimal.
Love it. Not the Inter Disruptor, but I love the rounding out of their draft. Lina as a hero loves bodies, and you have Pango and Tide and Wraith King, all these heroes that will just stand in front of you and form a wall that protects you.
Yeah.
Like, I think their team fight is really scary.
Definitely a game where it feels like Armel is the true carry, not Raven, with how well they've set this Lina up for success.
All eyes will be very focused on that Lina, but the Leshrac is the last pick for this game number 3 on T1. Sheep, how is this one rounding out their draft?
I think the Lesh definitely fixes their damage issues. They were lacking it very hard on T1. Lesh loves playing with Io and Mars. T1 run it in the past. It's something they're very comfortable with. I think this is a strat that they should be extremely comfortable on and can do very well with. I think the Lesh should have the capability here to run over the game in the mid game with the Io.
There was the prediction that you guys gave me at the start of this series, Gods. You said 2-1 in favor of Fnatic. It's still very possible for it to go this way, and the only way that we're going to know if you're right is if we jump into game number 3, so please, take it away.
Alrighty, Sheepu, we're here. It's game 3. Seeing the drafts, it sounds like you're maybe slightly favoring T1, or am I reading too much into that?
I really like the Lesh last pick. I think Fnatic's team fight is still potentially better than T1's, but I think T1 kind of are just stronger in general.
Okay.
If Ravage is down, I don't see how they really stop this Lesh IO, because Lesh really likes it when Mars can go in first for him in arena and stuff, and it gives him like a space to just use all his magic damage. and feel like safe doing it. And then Io obviously gives him so much mana to just keep using spells, gives him the health so that, because he's a little squishy, but makes him much stronger. Like, I don't know, this whole, all these heroes together, it just set up for such a good Lestrat game. I'm actually surprised they didn't ban it, because he plays it. He's played it in the past. I think he played it against like Moave Trust. He played it against another team like Forgotten. But yeah, super good Lesh game.
Yeah, and it does suggest maybe a different pace of game coming out of T1, because typically what we've seen the last 2 games was like 45 minutes, then 65 minutes. But Leshrac, perhaps more of a tempo hero. So I'm curious to see, do you think T1 can, are they going to be doing a different playstyle, or is this just going to be, greedy Dota, but with a Leshrac instead of a Quap or Kunkka as they've done in the past?
I think their 4-man is very strong. So even if PA is farming, they can fight without her. And I think, honestly, they can bring her into fights if they feel like, if she feels strong enough to do it, obviously. Whereas FNATIC, I feel like Wraith King won't want to get involved for quite a while. So I think there's definitely like a timing to abuse when Pango as a support is not level 6 yet. That they could like maybe push some towers with Leshrac or something. I'm not sure how they want to run it. I'm not super familiar with their play style of Leshrac.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Well, here we are. We hop ourselves in. Winner has a date with Boom in the winner bracket finals, a guaranteed top 3 in the SEA regional finals, and the loser drops down to play against Team SMG, still with a chance to make a lower bracket run. And definitely these are 2 teams that are, have championship aspirations here, as every team does. But I would say, at least on some level, it feels like these 2 teams very evenly match, and both teams could potentially upset Boom.
Yeah. A nice date, just in time for Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or a day too soon, perhaps. That's what every Dota player is doing on Valentine's Day, watching some good old Dota.
Woo!
If you're watching Dota with your significant other or by yourself on Valentine's Day, honestly, hats off to you. That sounds like a day well spent.
If you're in Twitch chat, are you really alone?
True.
Okay.
I've seen what some of the people in there are saying. I don't know. They seem pretty alone to me at times. I'm sorry.
Chat, please. Touch grass. Touch grass, guys.
Not all of you, but some,
Some of you touch some grass.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just turned chat against me. That was a bad way to start a game 3.
I was just trying to be inclusive and tell them how much I love them, and don't be worried if you're alone on Valentine's Day. God just come swinging.
Look, I'm just calling out the people who are copping the timeouts, and crossing the line. But all of you well-behaved Twitch chatters, shout out to you guys.
No. All right, so I think the matchup mid is like Lina obviously super strong, but I think Lesh deals with it by just skilling his E, whatever it's called, Lightning Storm. And just able to like CS from kind of range, so he doesn't tank too much right click from Lina.
Yeah. Very excited for this Carl versus Armel matchup, as far as a lane where, like you say, there could be a lot of pressure, but at the same time, if you hit those split earths, there maybe could be kill threat going the other way. Down bottom also, a lot of aggression potentially from a Wraith King Jakiro lane, but Io able to at least help Cuckoo quite a bit sustain his way through some of that damage coming out. And then you've got top lane where I feel like nothing's going to happen because DJ is just going to pull waves. So that's going to be a less exciting of a lane.
I'm actually interested if he does pull the wave. I actually think Tide is strong enough to sit in this lane if he buys Ring of Health.
Okay.
I thought their level 1 would be kind of strong as well. I'm not sure about 2. They got 2 first on Tide, so I guess they're chilling.
Yeah, no Gush, but Tide not playing with that range right clicker, so I guess no surprises there. And
yeah, because like Whitemon's in the middle of them right now. If he did have Gush, it would be kind of like easy to vault him into super low health with a shield crash Gush. But yeah, they don't have it. They should harass him anyway. Force his salve onto him. If they can force salve onto him, he can't use it on Gabby, and that just makes their lane a little bit easier.
As far as these other lanes go, you mentioned Wraith King gonna take some time to come online. I mean, when you've got this Lean, who's also a bit of a greedy hero in terms of the mid lane goes, does that mean Wraith King has to play like, you know, a bit less like that kind of typical hard carry style?
I think
you love me too.
I think Lina can get involved with her team. I think they'll just play passively though. They're a very passive team. I don't see how they're making plays, and I don't think Tide can rush a Blink this game. He definitely needs a Hood. I'm not sure if he'll then go Blink or if he'll go for something else. Like maybe he wants a Halberd this game, maybe he wants an Axe this game. Oh no, poor Pango's being gone. He's on level 2.
Yeah. This is laning stage. Pango thinks does have the Salve and Tango, so can sustain his way through this one a little bit, but is gonna remain a difficult lane for him. And you mentioned mentioned FNATIC. They've shown like a more passive farm-oriented gameplay. Perhaps something that's going to come out here again. DJ, hold that thought, is juking it out with Whitemon and getting the better of him. Just going at him. Doesn't have a shield crash for a couple of seconds. Now with the PA rotating, and DJ actually in some trouble. Has the stick charges. Another shield crash coming out, but Gabby's trying to get him with the dagger. DJ just juking around a couple of trees, but eventually they catch wind of him. Jabs gets the gush out. Gabby's going to get low, but has a blink strike to get himself away and even gets some creeps on the way out. So nicely done by T1 to get themselves the first blood.
I'm all for giving your offlaner XP, but like, come on, man. Jabs is level 3 and you're level 1 on Pango, and now you're feeding first blood because of it. Just take some XP, dude.
Yeah, it was well recognized from T1 that it was still level 1 Pango. And there, Carl's tipping him for TPing mid. He's like, really? You want to give my PA free farm by TPing mid? You know, I'll happily take that.
Yeah. Bot is pretty hard for Raven's Wraith King until he gets the helm. It's kind of a little way off, which is rough. It's just Mars and I was very overwhelming for a little while, but once you get over that hurdle, I feel like Mars is... it's difficult for him to shove Wraith King out of lane.
Yeah. For now, Cuckoo has the helm. We'll see if he goes for the full armlet. Typically that is, with the IO, like, the build.
Yeah, I don't know who exactly popularized it. I felt like it was Collapse at TI, because everyone else was kind of struggling with Mars. There was a lot of builds going around. Like, some people were building the Yules, some people were just going the normal Blink, and then every game, Collapse got an IO with him. He's like, I'm just an armlet buyer. I'm just gonna farm. I'm gonna farm really hard.
And then even, like, occasionally would go some, like, Deso builds and, like, yeah, okay. Don't worry, Yatora, I got this game.
Yeah. I really like it as well, because you take up so much map space with it, like, in a good way. You take it completely away from your enemy. You take the tower really early, because you bully them out. Then you take their whole jungle. Then you can, like, go on mid, and, like, you have the sustain from the IO to be able to do it. You have the farm. It feels really good.
Oh, he's perhaps missing that IO now. IO left the lane to go secure some runes, and as a result, Cuckoo gets harassed down a bit, but IO coming back now to help him out, as FNATIC did manage to go for a nice little side pull here. So the lane's going pretty, other than the early first blood top, pretty passively, and Raven, as you mentioned, not having the best time on that Wraith King, only 15 CS. As DJ is looking for a kill up top. Can he finish off Whitemon? Doesn't look like he's going to get this one. Maybe hiding in the trees. Another shield crash. He gets him just in time with the swashbuckle. Shield crash comes back up, and Gabby gets the kill, but with that shield crash damage, is that enough for Jabs? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to bring down Gabby, so 1-for-1 trade in the top.
Yeah, it feels like all the trouble in this top lane is just for DJ trying to navigate not dying to these heroes, because Jabs has the regen of a Ring of Health and a Wand, and you're getting so many charges from PA and Disruptor. They just, all they want to do is cast spells. So it feels like Jabs just has more than enough sustain to sit in this lane happily.
And by the way, what was all happening top, Armel actually solo killed the Leshrac mid. So,
okay, whatever, dude.
good for his
I
game.
didn't even notice.
Right now, and I'm like,
I just saw some kill feeds. I was like, oh, Lesh is dead. What happened there? Oh, solo kill. Oh.
Oh. Nice.
Okay.
Well played, man. You can play Lina. You're so good.
Yeah. Whoa.
You can win
Lena's
mid
a
as
hard
Lina.
hero, okay.
Oh,
You
she's
land
so
these
upset.
LSAs. Especially nowadays, there's no more Yules build. Those LSAs are hard to land. Armel gets ran at mid. Oh, he gets away. If that Split Earth landed, that could have been trouble.
6-minute runes. Here we go. Supports a mid.
Yeah. Well, that's why Armo was mad and got that kill, because at 4 minutes, the supports came and denied him of all the runes, so DJ has to take the haste rune, and Armel gets hit by the splitter this time around with the IO rotation, so he goes down to the Pulse Nova damage. And that's one thing Leshrac can do to the Lina, is if you can get on top of her, that damage output from the Split Earth plus Pulse Nova, it hurts.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. They have, DJ got the rune, which is nice at least, so Carl can get it after getting the kill. But yeah, maybe just overstepping a little bit into the river, need to play back a little bit more, I'm not sure. Maybe she felt stronger than she was, but...
Yeah.
She's rotating top. That's kind of cool. Looks like they're gonna go for a kill on Gabby, or she's just farming?
She's...
Oh no, look at that stack, yo!
Great rotation.
Beautiful.
The 6-minute 40 rotation in the top tier 1 tower to farm sets. DJ's happy. This is classic Fnatic. They just rotate either their mid or their carry into the jungle so DJ can get his farm. We saw it on like his Weaver game 1 where he just suddenly comes out with an Ag Scepter.
This is just like a you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You know, you stack the camp, I farm the camp, and you take the lane.
Yeah. I thought you were going a different direction with that, where it's like you give DJ some farm and you know he carries the game for you.
No, never. Supports don't carry games. Support. It's in the name.
Yeah. Exactly. DJ's tossing it. He didn't do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't be giving these supports too much credit. They're gonna start getting, you know, too big for their britches. Raven down bottom, he's in trouble. Hasn't hit level 6, and even if he had, I don't know if he wants to skill ultimate because they were in a position to kill him twice, but his teammates are smoking down, making a move, and Carl may just walk right into this one. LSA plus Shield Crash on 2 with the Laguna Blade. Carl being healed up through it, but it's not going to be enough. Zephyr does manage to get away because of how long it took to kill Carl, but nice kill for Fnatic.
Yeah, what a great rotation that was. I wonder when the tower pressure is going to start in this game, though. Because it feels like Leshrac's good at pressuring towers, and Lina's also really good at pressuring towers, so I would not be surprised to see people start hitting towers soon.
Yep. And we'll see if that is going to be the case. Definitely in this offlane, when Mars get armlet, it feels like it's going to be hard for anybody, like even the Wraith King, to stay in this lane to go up against the Mars. But for now, at least, you know, Fnatic doing Fnatic things, which is farming it up. You know, Jab's top of the net worth chart on his Tidehunter. The PA is just being forced in the jungle. Gabby getting a lot of good farm. By no means has this been a rough game for him, but there's nothing he can do against a Tidehunter in lane.
Yeah, Tide is getting all of his mana regen from just from Wand. It's kind of crazy. Like, he doesn't have a Soaring, doesn't have Arcanes. He has Soaring now, but like he's just been in this lane the whole time, just chilling off the back of Wand resources. It's so good.
He's going to be happy with how his game is going, but coming his way, perhaps as a rotation, T1 is smoked up. Actually, they're invading the triangle, and Armel could be in some trouble. It's just a level 2 glimpse. He needs to get out of range of this, and he does manage to not get caught there. And DJ may look to turn this one with Jabs rotating on the Titan. They've got a Ravage if they can get close enough for it, but instead it's going to be just the kill on Whitemon. They can't get close enough to kill Carl, so no heavy punish, but they do keep their Ancient safe and also find a support kill.
If Maz is playing up on this lane like this, he should be able to pressure mid, but I'm not really sure. I guess I don't see much on Fnatic. They don't really have any deep wards down, I don't think. No. They're very defensive. I think T1 on the other hand, they have very deep wards down. They have one over by the outpost. They see the stacks being made. They also have one protecting their top lane.
A lot of stacks for Fnatic. They've been stacking up these Ancients as well, so either... I mean, Tide can definitely farm them, but maybe they're going to want to leave it for the Lino or Wraith King or something, since those heroes not getting the best farm. And Wraith King's had enough at bottom lane. Raven says, I'm making my way to greener pastures. TP's up top, and we'll be looking to pressure this tower. You mentioned, is this the tower pressure you feel like you've been waiting for from one of these teams? Because Fnatic, they've grouped up as 4 up top.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was waiting for. I wasn't sure if Raven was going to be the one to do it. I mean, obviously, we know that he can't stay bot forever against IO Mars. It's too much at some point, so this is where he feels like he can't do it. I think 10 minutes is pretty respectable. Like, I think they kept bot tower up for longer than they probably should have. And they, if anything, are actually just making the first move. Like, it's only now that T1 are making this move bot to go take the bot tower, and they've already finished top on FNATIC, so...
FNATIC may even pressure this tier 1 mid. Yeah, they're invading the jungle, they're rotating towards mid, but just Jakiro mid, so it doesn't look like they're going to pressure that tower, but coming in and taking over this enemy jungle, getting some of these neutral items. So T1 do get the bottom T1 tower, a bit of a, you know, a trade when it comes to the moves they're making, but it is possible T1, they come back and they're defending top. They've got level 3 glimpse to catch DJ's Pangolier here. He's just going to go for a TP out. The Split Earth comes too late, so Carl doesn't even end up casting it, knowing that he's going to TP out successfully. So nice play from DJ to get away.
So good. Love that. It always makes you feel so bad when when they TP out in front of you. Like, you just know in your head there's like 18 different ways you could have done this so that this didn't happen. You just regret everything.
Yeah.
I definitely am curious though to know which mid tower is going to crack first. The safe lane was just like a trade, which is fair. Both teams kind of like swinging in each direction. Like Tide's, you know, going to push out top. Wraith King's farming his triangle. Meanwhile, like T1, Mars is probably going to like start to move into that jungle soon. They have a ward. They kind of spot that it's pretty empty and free for him to farm up. So you can just like push in this bot tower, farm these camps. Is he going Blink this game, I wonder, though, or BKB? That's kind of my big question. Because if he can get this Blink, then he can really just start making moves for T1.
Yeah, last game we saw the BKB first, but do you feel like the Blink should be the priority this game then?
I think it's... I think if you can get an early Blink and kill Lina with it, then you're pretty happy.
DJ. Rolling Thunder is looking to start a fight here, perhaps. They've got the Ravage, but will need a Soul Ring or some Magic Wand charges. Jab's charging in forward. Goes into a Static Storm, but walks his way out of it, then sets up a Ravage on it too. Followed up with an LSA Laguna Blade. They take out the Leshrac before the Ire Relocate save can come into play. Jabs does end up going down to the God's Rebuke, as Cuckoo needs to get out himself, but the right clicks from the Lina going to get outplayed by the Armlet Toggles. Nicely done by Cuckoo to keep himself alive there. As FNATIC lose 2 despite getting off a decent Ravage, but they kill off the big hero in the Leshrac.
That's a shame. Probably shouldn't have happened. I think there was just a little bit of spellcasting mistake with the with Whitemon's Static Storm. I don't know if the Kinetic Field just didn't form in time, but he managed to like get out of it and cast the Ravage, which kind of sucks, but what can you do? They didn't lose an objective over it, which is like the most important thing for both teams. I think maybe T1's happier because like Ravage is down now, which gives them like timing to feel safe. They know, oh, maybe we can overextend a little bit into an area, and we know we can't be punished by Ravage.
We'll see if they make that next move. They are grouping up as if they may want to make some kind of a smoke play here. Cuckoo's Mars has Arena in 20 seconds time, so we'll see if they make that next move anytime soon. They've got some stacks waiting back for them, for the PA, who doesn't quite yet have a Battle Fury up. So imagine Gabby's not too interested in fighting right now with the Battle Fury so close. He's going to want to finish that and then, you know, farm up those ancient stacks before he kind of gets too involved. So, and you mentioned a lot of your focus and what you're curious about is going to be these tier 1 mid towers. Do you feel like either team has like the better mid game right now that should be the ones making the more aggressive moves?
When I'm trying to visualize in my mind's eye how they take it. Like for T1, it would be like taking the enemy's jungle and kind of like poking at it from the side. But there's always that fear, right? Because even if Ravage is down, if DJ gets a really good roll off near a wall, which tends to happen around mid because you have like the like edges of the river, that's just like, I don't know. You can lose a fight pretty easily off that, I would say.
Okay.
It's just a little scary. I guess they just want to get BKBs and then they'll feel comfortable. We look at Mars now. He is going BKB instead of the Blink. I respect it. I feel like they could take a nice fight if they're able to Blink on Lina and arena her. But she's rushing BKB. And also, you can't Blink arena this Wraith King or Tide, right? There's 2 lives on Wraith King. Tide will just purge off the stun.
Whitemon in a good position to block the smoke gank, or tank it, per se. As FNATIC were heading into that enemy jungle, Cuckoo mid will be kept safe by this, but now it's going to be FNATIC who just walk their way up to this T1 mid tower. With Ravage coming back up, they feel like their team fight is too much for T1 to handle. And even though it's just a 5 position tank in the smoke gank, that's one less hero to defend this T1 mid tower with. No Static Storm means FNATIC get the T1 mid tower with ease.
That's nice. Yeah. FNATIC, a little bit easier for them. They just pick off, take mid. T1 is just a little bit harder for them to pick off. Like I said, you can't really go on Wraith King or Tide, so if either of them are sitting in front of mid tower, it's kind of like, how do we do this quickly? They don't have much burst damage either on T1's side. They're very much just run someone down with magic and...
Oh, Whitemon, wrong neighborhood. Walks up to do... probably, just support things. Drop some wards down, do some dewarding, and, well, FNATIC are there waiting for him with the Macropyre and the Tide. Find themselves an easy kill. So FNATIC continue to control this dire jungle, and that's perhaps problematic, because it feels like they can almost go take Roshan anytime they want. Once it, they're not going for Deso, but yeah, they can really take Roshan with the heroes they've got. It feels like something that's going to be pretty hard for T1 to contest.
Yeah, I agree. Their team fight is a little bit lacking compared to FNATIC. Armel's got a BKB now? Yeah, so he's feeling really good. I think at this point, if they show hard bot on T1, you could probably just walk in. Otherwise, they may look for another smoke gank. If they can get a pick off, then they can turn that into a Roche. They have the Gush for the minus armor on it, which is really nice. So even if they don't have Deso, they still have like a quick way to take it. Like Roche, hard to fight back when Jakiro uses spells too. Altogether, they just have like a really nice team for taking it.
Well, we'll see when they look to make that move, but for now they're happy just to slow things down. It is T1 who, as far as the core heroes goes, they are top of the net worth with the PA. Top lane, Jakiro has been caught out. They're willing to throw a Static Storm and an Arena. They commit a lot of ultimates to bring him down, and I think FNATIC recognizing that, they want to fight. They've got a blink on Raven. He goes in on a Whitemon. That's going to be an easy disruptor kill, but not sure they're going to be able to get Cuckoo as well, but they want to focus and chip away at this tier 2 tower as well. So FNATIC getting some damage in, but with the glyph being used, they're going to back off and play it safe.
18 minutes is the time of game where you can't use an arena anymore for support. It's like when your first few arenas, blow it on a support, get that kill. Unless they're really important to kill, which I don't think a Jakiro is. Like, I don't think you can do that. Because you need to turn it into something. And now you're a hero that has his spell on cooldown for 90 seconds. And FNATIC are like, yeah, okay, they can no longer fight us. That is literally their only team fight tool to fight us. Let's just walk into Roche.
It feels like a very similar story to last game, where it's like, oh, you look at the gold difference, like, oh, T1, they're doing slightly better. They're ahead on gold. But then everything that's happening on the map is FNATIC favor. They're the ones putting more pressure on, taking Roshan, with just having the stronger team fight. This kind of like death bowl of heroes that are going to have BKB. So it's T1 who, despite getting good farm on these cores, they seem to be a little bit on the back foot.
For sure. I see the problems with their drafts that make them feel like playing this way. The difficulty of initiating on 2 of their cores, PA being a hero who needs a lot of items to be really strong. If she jumps in without a BKB, then she can just be kited extremely easily by Ravage rolls, the stuns.
Those rolls controlling Disruptor now. Poor Whitemon just going for a little D-Ward mission, and DJ says, okay, I'll take that kill. And
I actually really like this difficulty of... Oh, they're firing more. Whoops.
Yeah, that's all right. Raven, they got that reincarnation without much effort, but Jabs is set up for a perfect 3-man Ravage, but the follow-up damage wasn't there, and Armel in the arena has to BKB just get himself out of that one, and DJ will not have an escape himself, so FNATIC get caught too deep, and they're being chased down. Relocate after Armel. He's got an Aegis, but he's got no more BKB, can't get to the Invis rune. He's going to lose his first life and probably his second. No BKB for 60. They're tipping him. They know his fate. Armel, he's dead, left to the Sharks as T1 clean up.
Nice. Good punish.
And that's where that, you kind of mentioned, like, you can't really just use an arena for a support. DJ, he's a 4 position, but he does something similar, using the roll. And then they go for that tier 2 top tower and don't have the Rolling Thunder to back them up.
Yep, you've got to play around these cooldowns. And like T1's lineup, while it struggled early, I would say PA is really good for the game overall. She does want to jump Lina, and she can get to the Lina. She's also like a hero that is just constantly, you know, her cooldowns are like constant, right? She can keep jumping from hero to hero. You like having that into a Wraith King, right? You're not just like a one and done ult type of hero. She can assassinate these supports if she can get on them. And also, like, her shard, Fan of Knives, allows her to kill Tide. You know, usually he purges off stuns with Kraken Shell. If she gets Fan of her shard onto him and they stun him, like, he can't purge, he just dies.
Yeah. I mean, FNATIC had the Aegis and were the ones being the aggressors. Where do you feel like things went wrong for them when they were making that move?
I think it was like what you said. Like, they just didn't have one of their cooldowns. They kind of just get picked off.
Armel top has to BKB. Whitemon thinking about chasing for a glimpse, but they'll settle just for that BKB being used. Down to 7 seconds already, so very quickly we're looking at that minimum duration.
That's good. I like what they're doing as well. Carl got a Blink Dagger on the Shrek. It just lets him be where he wants to be in the fight on the right person. Him and Gabby together can just output so much damage onto anyone. If they get a catch with Cuckoo, he's going Blink now. He's about to have it. Like, at this point, let's see. Gabby has queued up that shard, right? Say they see Tide. At this point, they can just spear the Tide, jump with the knives, and that's it. He will never purge off that stun, and he will die. They can just easily burst.
FNATIC want to make a move before that happened. Carl on the front line is going to get blinked on by Raven. The stun follows up with the Rolling Thunder on through. He's inside the arena. This is perhaps perfect for DJ with the Ravage there as well. They can't finish off the left, but instead they find the better target in the Io. Take away the save and the sustain. Carl on the front lane's got a lot of heal himself with the Eternal Shroud plus Essence Ring, but needs to be careful. He's in some trouble now. The Laguna Blade, the burst damage is too much for him to handle, but they've lost 2 in return. But without a BKB anymore on Gabby's PA, it does feel like FNATIC have the edge here as they're chasing. They're looking for more. Another blink on this Wraith King will allow him to chase down some of these heroes, but the Thunderstrike prevents that blink from coming up. So nicely done by T1 to prevent FNATIC getting any more kills. So it's a 2 for 2 in the end.
I guess you're happier as FNATIC. They killed Lesh. That was good.
Okay.
It's also a PA BKB going down. Like, if anything, right, PA's scary.
Somewhat ulti dependent.
They seem to think that they're not ulti dependent. They are smoked up and going. Oh, they do have
Arena's already
up.
back up, yeah.
Oh.
They see Armel, but he's got BKB, so this could be a game of reaction time if they go on him. They get the glimpse back. He's not gonna... Okay, he gets glimpse and BKBs. Post-glimpse, Gabby blinks in with a BKB of his own. They want this Armel Lina. He gets back to the safety of his tower, but now with Gabby blinking in, but his BKB wearing off means Armel is still alive for now. Rolling Thunder from DJ, he misses Gabby, unfortunately, and Armel now in trouble, but gets glimmered up. Gets still hit by the Split Earth. The AoE damage from the Pulse Nova is going to be enough to finish him off, but caught under the tower is Carl the Lesser, but he's got plenty of heals with the Eye to back him up, and DJ can't do anything about it, even with the roll-up. Not enough damage coming out of FNATIC for now. They're going to buy back the lead and try to turn this fight as Carl goes for... Well, he can't really get out of this one. Raven going to chop him up with his big cleaver, and it does end up turning out okay for FNATIC, but did cost them a Lina buyback.
That's sick. You love that buyback. That is like your ticket to do so much in this game. If you can take an objective, you can take like a tower, Roche, high ground, anything. Like, she'll be dead for so long, and she's so much of their damage. Like this Lesh, every time I've seen him die in fights, a lot of it has just been to getting like Laguna'd and stuff down. It's also like she's a lot of your burst to help remove Io too. Like she's a lot. So they have a lot of team fight and control, but without Lina being alive, that's very easy for T1 to take their fight, I think.
Yeah. We'll see the fight here again. It's like every time I see these fights, I'm like, it looks like Lesh is like in a bit too deep, and you know does end up dying this fight, but he gets kept alive for so long with the IO plus the sustain from the Shroud plus the Essence Ring, so all of those heals coming into play, IO having both Mech and Holy Locket as well.
It's really nice. I love that pairing. They're just smoking again on T1. They just know, like, we just go, we kill Lina, we get so much.
Oh, they've got the Shard now on this PA, so they see this Tide. Can they break him? Gabby goes blinking in, and oh boy.
Rest in pieces.
Melted. Absolutely melted. And T1 knowing they have full control of this area of the map. They'd love an early Roshan respawn. They've got 35 seconds on Tide. Very unlikely they get Roshan up before them, but it is a possibility.
They
They're
could just
crossing their fingers.
Kill the top tower if they really wanted to. It doesn't have backdoors, the tier 1.
No luck for T1. It's going to be a longer, almost 2-minute respawn on Roshan, so FNATIC will have the opportunity to defend it as T1 make a relocate down bottom just to clear out some of these creep waves. Something that FNATIC did ping, so they have an idea of what's going on here. And they make their move out. They need to do some de-warding here, and DJ will get himself onto the cliff to make sure they take out some of this T1 vision and get themselves ready for a potential Roche fight.
Yeah, it's getting scarier and scarier.
Yeah.
If she, oh, they're just smoking again. Honestly, T1 are just like non-stop aggression right now. Back-to-back smokes. They really want Lina's head, or anyone's head, really. They know they're strong enough to do it.
They're going for the Wraith King here. They have the ward there, so they know Wraith King doesn't have any backup immediately around him. Raven actually blinks away, and they don't want to maybe overcommit on a hero like Wraith King with that reincarnation, so right, get themselves back to safety. As both teams will continue the posturing around Roshan. Roche number 2. Similar story to last game where FNATIC get Roche number 1 without much of a fight, but Roche number 2 is going to be the big one where T1 will look to put their name on this game and not give it up all so easily.
Yeah. You want like a bunch of things to be happening when the Roche is spawning. You want good wards up. You want the mid wave to be pushing into your enemy. And you want your other waves to be in a good spot. You just want one side to feel pressure.
Gabby walked in with the blur to scout things out. Instantly blinks away.
Yeah.
Both
like
carries.
right now, they feel pressure top, right? Call has to push it out. That shows information to FNATIC, and they feel more comfortable. Like they're smoked.
Yep. And even Lina pressuring bottom with the boots of travel. TP's down there to nuke the wave, and instantly will head back towards that Roshan pit. As a quick pause comes out, both teams will get a moment to kind of think about the state of this game, about what their next moves might be. What are kind of the ideal conditions for the next team fight, I guess, for both teams, would you say?
I mean, both teams really want to fight on their own vision, right? Tide wants the best Ravage he can get. Mars wants the best Arena he can get. They want to see the targets that they need to kill first. For PA, with her Fan of Knives, she can kill this Tide Hunter, like, really fast. So I think she probably wants to kill him first. FNATIC, they know that they need to pick off this IO, otherwise he's going to be able to save the cores, like buff up the Lesh, make sure he doesn't die. I think like maybe you focus on
doesn't it?
your Wraith King killing the IO while like Tide controls up the rest of the team. If does Panko have Shard? Yeah, Panko has Blink and Shard. So while he doesn't have like Yules for the longest amount of stun, that's still a very respectable amount of stunning that he can do onto PA. And she doesn't have Assange or anything. She has no status resistance. So she will just get stunned up for the full amount of time if she doesn't get her BKB off.
Okay.
It's
Right.
yeah, whoever goes first, basically. Whoever gets the right pick off, the right jump.
And then even if you're going first, if you commit too much, also you're looking at
Burns,
Roshan, where
doesn't
both
it?
teams can buy back and TP in. Like T1 have their outpost, FNATIC have their T1 tower top, so could be a potential Roshan with not just a full-on 5v5, but 7-8 heroes or lives being kind of thrown at the Roshan pit.
Yeah, I was like when T1 were in FNATIC's triangle, I thought they would just take the tower, like for that reason, right? It's just easier spot to TP to. The outpost takes 5 seconds and then increases with each person that TPs to it. The tower obviously also increases, but it's a much lower timer. So I would have thought they would have taken it out just to make their fighting easier on Roche Pit, but they just never took it.
Well, that's a slight blessing for FNATIC, who still get to play around it, but for now both teams just really focus eyes on Roshan, getting all the vision they can around this top part of the map, around the mid lane as well, which has that easy access towards the Roshan pit. And DJ just making sure they're not in there. He actually goes swashbuckling in, has the blink out, so he doesn't get caught by Gabby, but has to be a little bit careful. No basher on this PA just yet, but does put himself in a slightly precarious position.
Well, it feels sad when you run to go take a wave or something and you have to just, like, you have to just run straight back to the Roche pit. Like,
it's like you're working those legs.
yeah.
Putting in some good fitness. Just doing more cardio than hero killing, it seems, for these two teams. Double damage comes out. That's always a big run around the Roshan pit, and Raven knows that a double damage PA could be disastrous. He gets glimpsed back here. They perhaps think this is an opening to go on Raven, but he's still got the DD if he wants to turn and fight. Pops the BKB, wants to go on Cuckoo. He's doing a lot of right-click damage. The IO save comes a little bit too late. The Rolling Thunder also stops the relocate out. They've got the IO as well. Raven making great use of the double damage, and T1 thought they could deal with the Wraith King. They kill him off once, and the double buyback coming in now as well. Raven doesn't have BKB. He may just die a second time if he's not careful. Gabby knows this. He gets glimmered up, but they've got the dust to scout him out, and now Raven going to go down without buyback. Full TP out as they lose the Pangolier as well. Carl doing a great job jumping in on the backlines, and it looked good at the start for FNATIC with the Wraith King double damage, but T1 utilizing their buybacks to perfection.
Yeah, I don't think they probably should have needed to use their buybacks. That was a really sloppy going. Cuckoo didn't BKB, unfortunately, and then Zephyr died trying to, like, rectify that mistake. But I mean, it all works out in the end. Maybe FNATIC just went a little bit too far. It looked nice for Wraith King at the start, though. He really just, like, chomped down on the Mars.
Yeah, unfortunately, I guess using... You know, typically you're saving that BKB for the second life, but he really wanted to fight with double damage, and I mean, he got 2 kills out of it, but the rest of his team, it felt like, couldn't offer enough in the team fight. Tide doesn't find an opportunity to Ravage, no opportunity to use Rolling Thunder. FNATIC just unable to use some of those big team fight spells. And this PA is a problem. Gabby, level 23 now, has a Basher up as well, playing with an Aegis, and FNATIC are going to have their work cut out for them to deal with Gabby's PA.
I don't really see what happened to Tide. The kill feed says Lesh killed him, and he died, like, on top of his stairs to his triangle. So I'm guessing Lesh and PA kind of found their way to the back line or something while Wraith King was dealing with the other heroes. I'm not sure. I didn't see.
Yeah, I saw Leshrac was, like, in the enemy triangle area when he killed the Pangolier at the end of the fight too. So I think he just got on the back lines, and then Io bought back and, like, aggressively relocated in too.
Okay, yeah, I respect that. Big plays from Carl, his blink dagger, super paying off then to allow him to get in that position.
Well,
cool.
Lane are going to TP top, going to be okay. So for FNATIC, is it turtle time? Like, any way they can, I mean, they've got all this crazy team fight, but against an Aegis PA, are they just thinking we got to turtle it up?
Yeah, the biggest counter to team fight is just a second life. I'm not sure. I thought Tide was gonna go Halberd this game to help them be able to deal with PA, but he went Ags instead, which is kind of okay because it's like a long range way to reduce your enemy's armor and allow Lina and Wraith King to do as much damage as they can. But at the same time, this PA whether that's like living longer through having evasion or something, because if they can do that, then they can fight, and the Aegis is like, okay, we'll dodge it for a bit, but we can deal with it if they make a move and catch us off guard or something. I don't know. They don't have like 4 staffs and stuff. Pango is playing as a as a Pango does, right? He gets Blink to do his job, but as a result, the only defensive item they have is a Glimmer Cape on Jakiro, and he's probably dying before he can press that button.
Unfortunately, like, Lina, Armel's like, I just gotta go get my own 4 stuff, so buys his own Hurricane Pike, and not like the worst time to get on Lina, but it does kind of speak to what you're saying about not having some of those support items perhaps impacting this game. And Gabby's hit level 25 now, so triple Stifling Dagger talent comes into play. And this is a scary PA now with Abyssal Blade completed. Gabby's got his eyes on an Aghanim Scepter as well as his next item, so things going from bad to worse for FNATIC, it feels like. They're down 11k gold, and they're kind of losing any grip on this game as they're losing tower after tower and forced to just run away from T1, it feels like.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can do. I mean, I definitely don't think they're strong enough now to fight into the Aegis. I don't think they have the items for it. I don't think they have the heroes for it. The split pushing is obviously the correct play. Pressure somewhere on the map. Like, they've now pushed all of the T1 heroes bot in reaction to them playing there, and now they get to TP back to base. Maybe they can run up top, mid. Do they have wards down? I don't think they see Mars on their cliff ward, so they know that there's heroes playing bot right now. Maybe that gives them some confidence to be able to push out back up to the top side of the map.
Okay.
But it's a game of avoid and pressure. Do as much as you can on the map.
Well, it feels like if they ever want to deal with this PA, they're going to need some of these MKBs. Both cores getting them against the PA evasion. With the evasion talent, there's some crazy levels of evasion coming into play. But it's going to still be some time before Lina manages to farm up her MKB, so life is hard for FNATIC. But do these MKBs kind of change how the state of the game, or is it still going to be tough for FNATIC?
I think it's mostly hard because PA is killing everyone so quickly that it's not really a question of damage, it's more of a question of living.
Okay.
They are buying items to try and help with it, like the Hurricane Pike on Lina. She has Shivas for more armor. This is the right way. I think if Wraith King didn't have a Assault Cuirass, she probably would have bought one. But I mean, yeah, they have the control. So if they can take a fight on their ward and control up IO and PA, like I don't know what. Tide's going Ghost Scepter. That makes me sad. I feel like if they were ever able to take a fight where they ravage twice with like Refresher, then it should just be a one fight. Because then Wraith King and Lina do have the damage to kill PA, and Io can't do anything because he's stunned up. And it's like if you have a double ravage, then even if they have Aeon Disc on Io, then you're just ravaging him again. So he still can't get the reload off. Even if it's a short stun, if you interrupt the reload, it's enough to kill the PA.
We'll see if Tide reconsiders the Ghost Scepter and goes into a Refresher or something instead. Still hasn't committed yet for this Ghost Scepter, but may also be thinking that he needs to hold on to his buyback. And we'll see FNATIC not interested at all in taking any kind of fight. And for T1, are they, do they just want to chill and wait for another Roshan? Is that kind of the game plan as far as you can tell for them?
Probably the best one. Well, the safest one. You don't want to misstep. Like, yeah, if FNATIC have so much control, then you don't want to throw it all away by trying to go high ground early or something. Or even just being on one of their wards that you just didn't know was there. It might be worth investing in a gem.
FNATIC is smoked up. They're looking to make their play around this mid lane. The PA throwing daggers from the high ground. Carl showing himself as Raven goes blinking in. They have the Rolling Thunder throw it up. They're going to get a nice Ravage on a 2. Blinking in was the Mars. He got caught in that Ravage instantly. Does get the BKB off before the Rolling Thunder stun. Does hit him, so Cuckoo gets back to safety. Even spears the Wraith King into an arena here, and it looks like FNATIC are going to be forced back. Not finding the Mars kill, but the Leshrac kill was a nice, juicy one for them to find. That puts them in a really good spot here.
Yeah. There is a timing now when Lesh respawns where there's no Ravage, which is kind of nice. And they have Refresher Maz.
Okay. And it could be a timing where Roshan's alive. We'll find out what that Rosh time is going to be in a little bit, but potential for T1 to make something of this.
The only issue is because they used Roll and they used Ravage, it does mean that FNATIC now don't really have any agency to take an objective. Lesh dying makes them strong, but they can still feed. They've seen Mars on the map. They know that he has Refresher. So say they try and push mid tier 2 right now as a team. Mars is just going to hit the refresh button, and then I think IO and PA should be strong enough to kind of wipe them all since they have no control anymore.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
It's very scary.
Yeah, it may just be a let's reset, wait for next Ravage. And you mentioned Tide needing a refresher over the Ghost Scepter. It seems like you're spot on because Jabs has now queued up that refresher.
Yeah, respect to that. And that is what will let them keep fighting in the future. So say they take a fight like that, yay, we got Lesh, and Tide has Refresher. Maybe even that fight extends because of the Refresher, and they're able to kill like a PA instead as well, or like the Mars as well. And then with 2 heroes down, they are actually able to go take the tower because, you know, no Mars. So I think that is just the edge that they need, the extra control they need to really win this game.
Well, for T1 getting caught out there, what needs to go T1's way? How, like, you know, how do they avoid what we just saw, and just how do they make sure the next few fights go well for them?
I think unless Io gets BKB, there's just no way he can save anyone in the middle of a Ravage like that. It's kind of like you have to hope he doesn't get bursted. Either he needs to have items that allows him to not get bursted in a Ravage like that, or Io needs to find a way around it. I'm not sure. It's hard. It's very awkward. Because if one of those Ravages hits you, your ult just gets cancelled on Io. So, it feels like Lesh did buy very defensively. He has BKB, he has Shroud, he has the Kyron Sange, so he has Stage Resistance, he has armor in the Shivas, and yet he still dies.
Yeah, the last few fights it felt like he was surviving the initial burst with the IO heals, but now we're getting to a point, I guess FNATIC just do enough damage with Lina Wraith King getting pretty damn strong. Lina almost has the money for the MKB if she wants to buy out for it. And we'll be hitting level 25 soon as well, so that's going to make her a little bit stronger as well. But here comes T1. They're actually smoking up. Yeah, with these ultis down, they don't mind not having a Leshrac, it seems. DJ gets gone, has the Aeon Disc. He's just going to blink his way out of there, so... Looks like T1. Very quick Roche respawn, just in 10 seconds. Something that FNATIC won't have a Ravage for initially. They're going to have to wait out this cooldown. So you mentioned that little timing where Leshrac's going to be back alive before Ravage is up. That could be something that T1 uses to force a fight or even to pressure Roche.
Damn, they're not even thinking about Roche right now. That's...
Yeah.
I mean, they should know. They know the timer. They know it can be up. But no one ever expects it to be up like instantly.
FNATIC's got it out with the gush, so they know it's up. And I guess this AoE gush is pretty annoying for T1 if they try and make a play at that Roche pit. But 40-minute rune coming out. This is where, you know, PA's like, fingers crossed, double damage top, please. Where's that DD?
Please.
Oh, it's bottom. Oh, there is a DD.
Oh,
Cole! He didn't look. He just, like, blinked and insta-clicked it. Oh, he doesn't have a bottle anyways. I guess, but even so, even without a bottle, like, you still have a window for PA to carry the DD.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's okay. They can still win a fight without DD.
Very true.
Yeah. I think both teams obviously high-skilled enough that no one's going to just go wander bot and try and do something there. They're both hyper-aware that now is the time to fight for Roche. So this is definitely you have to win a fight for Roche. There's no just doing Roche.
See how that fight unravels as both teams will have all their ultis up for it. Tide getting closer and closer to a refresher. That's the one big item that stands out. Only 1,000 gold away for it. If he can get a refresher before a potential Roche fight, that would be huge. But T1 are pressing forward, invading this enemy triangle. DJ is there to scout out the smoke, instantly blinks away, as well as the swashbuckle as PA tries to jump a different target, but unable to connect. But they found DJ. He's got the Aeon Disc, but he does get off the Rolling Thunder. Gonna use that just defensively, but now he hasn't got it for a potential team fight, but he's gonna go back in. Goes on Cole with the Lina follow-up. Where's the IO? It's too late. They've lost the Leshrac before the fight's even began. Gabby goes blinking with a BKB, but Armel just gonna BKB and walk out of this arena. He looks to turn and fight. They've lost the Wraith King's first life, but can they get his second? I don't think so. Not without the BKBs. They've already committed the PAs, and as a result, Ravage catches 4. Cuckoo refreshes, gets another arena, spears the Lina into this one. Armel getting low, has the Glimmer Cape to help him out a little bit. He's still alive, just barely. His sliver of health is enough for him to get a third kill. But FNATIC, they're still cleaning up. Zephyr with a nice TP out somehow. And Cuckoo also keeps himself alive, but a huge teamfight victory. They bait out the BKBs, and what a Ravage from Jabs.
Really good Ravage. Really taking advantage of the PS BKB ending. I mean, what can you do? Like, I think he blinked in, and he just got destroyed. He got blown up so fast. I tried to relocate, but it's just not fast enough.
That Lesh felt like DJ just baited him in, like with the blink and swashbuckle, I guess, being used. Lesh is like, oh, let's go, but
yeah,
boy, did that backfire.
Pango is just such an annoying hero when he has Aeon Disc. The roll up, it just guarantees that you get Rolling Thunder off. It's so obnoxious now. Like, you catch this hero, but it doesn't really matter. You have to chain stun him, but into Aeon Disc, no. I don't think he's the target that they can start on. Maybe if PA gets a nullifier or something, but
some of these, I mean, this is a level 26 PA. That's a long respawn, and as a result, FNATIC are just going high ground. I don't think there's no way this PA will want to buy back at this point. Only 20 seconds left on the respawn, so looks like they're just going to have to give up this mid lane of Rax to FNATIC. Leshrac using that shard to throw out some chain split earths, but that's not going to do a whole lot. So FNATIC get the Rax. Raven just going to BKB and walk his way out of there. I think knowing they're not looking to fight right now, so happy just to play it safe and go for a TP out.
Good play. Didn't overcommit. They're getting back in this game. There's a refresher shard on Tide now as well. Like, and he's got enough money for a refresher. It's just kind of like whether he wants to buy it. He just bought something. Oh, he bought shard.
He bought the recipe for the refresher.
Oh, he did. Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Now, the shard is extra nice because it has no mana cost. So that's something that Tide sometimes struggles a bit with, is the mana for that double Ravage or whatever it may. In this case, maybe triple Ravage.
Yeah, I don't know if he has enough mana for that without Arcane Boots.
Yeah.
Like, all 3.
Yeah, got to get the perfect, like, triple Soul Ring off to make it work.
Yeah. That's devastating, though. I don't know if T1 can win a fight into that at all. So if FNATIC can just execute here, I think they could just be set up to win the game. I think this is their timing. If they can definitely win the game with this Aegis, but they might decide to play it patiently anyway. I think as the game goes longer, with Tide having all these Ravages, like, if they can just make sure they play it patiently to get the right fight, they just win. I don't think T1 can fight into this anymore.
Oh, and speaking of refreshers, DJ also throws another one into the mix. Refreshers, maybe an item that Icerock's gonna be looking at. I feel like the number of refreshers I see in Dota these days is just like skyrocketed over the last year.
Are you mad about it though? I don't know. Like, I think like
not really.
I think the item used to be way better, right? I think it's been nerfed.
It used to give different stats. Like, it used to be what the Oblivion stuff and some other crap. I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with the state of refresher. I think it's really expensive. It doesn't. It gives you mana regen, but it doesn't solve the mana problem of casting it. It's quite. I'm kind of okay. I'm kind of chilling.
Spear in, Lina. In the front lines with that Aegis. Has a BKB, but she'll wait for the second life to use it. Now this Lina's in deep. DJ comes rolling in through, but unable to find any good targets. And as a result, FNATIC may just have to back off here. Armel's BKB now going to be down. Won't have it for a potential team fight. As Cargo's looking to blink in, and FNATIC has managed to, disengage, just losing the Aegis here, but now they've got no BKB on Armel, so things get a little bit hairier here as Raven going to put himself on the high ground here, knowing that they can't afford to have Armel get going on. He gets the dodge off, doesn't get hit by the spear, gets bashed up by the dagger, but that spear missing means Cuckoo goes down. He's going to be forced to buy back, and Armel feeling confident on the front lines here, knowing he's got that double Ravage behind him. Carl unable to connect on Armel with the Force Staff there to help bail out the Lina. Raven BKBs himself, and it looks like FNATIC going to disengage here with all their BKBs down. They don't want to take this fight for the time being.
They still have so many Ravages. Like,
Yeah.
they're in such a power position.
And knowing that the PA didn't have BKB, they were like, okay, we'll press forward with no Lina BKB because PA can't fight. PA fighting into triple Ravage without BKB is just a death sentence. But now with BKB coming back up, Gabby goes in. The Ravage doesn't hit the PA. That's the BKB. The break is there. The second Ravage also dodged by the BKB. So double Ravage gets dealt with. And DJ comes in looking for some targets to go and finds Gabby's PA now, getting the chains off. But there's no follow-up damage, so he's just going to be forced to retreat here. DJ helped out by the Ice Path from Januel. They lose 2, though, including the Armel Lina.
Okay, well, that is not how you use your double Ravage.
You don't say.
Oh, no. That's so sad. You just, both of them were onto a BKB PA. What can you do?
The first one, you're like trying to hope the PA is not fast enough to respond, but the second was a little, you know, hopeful.
I'm
if
dying.
I push it again, maybe the second one will go through BKB.
You just accept your death there. You use it. Like, when you have a buyback here potentially with it, maybe instead.
Oh, DJ trying to delay this one using the Rolling Thunder, but again, no real follow-up here. He's got the Refresher, so I guess he's happy just to throw this one out to delay the racks going down. They can't go for the mid lane with the tier 2 tower standing. Looks like T1 going to be happy just to back off and control this top side of the map.
They could backdoor this tower. Okay, they don't want to.
Side against it, and FNATIC hugging each other, hugging their base, knowing that they need this Lina to be back alive before this next team fight.
Okay. So in 20 seconds, they are back to the power position. They have 3 Ravages.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all
Okay.
good. You're 1 rack's down, no problem. You actually have 1 rack's advantage, technically still.
Well, unfortunately, T1 Smoke going to be foiled by putting this Observer Ward, revealing the fact they were smoked up, I believe. You put that ward next to an enemy sentry, and they know exactly what's going on, and FNATIC are going to smoke right into them. They lead the charge with Raven, who's got an Abyssal Blade. He goes on Whitemon initially. They get the Ravage onto a couple here. The IO, he's being caught by this one. Pops the Aeon Disc, gets out of it a little bit. He's still healing up Gabby on the PA, who does end up getting the BKB off, and now he's cleaving through them all the time. Ends up going down, does buy back instantly. May have another Ravage with the Shard. Yeah, you betcha. He's got another Ravage to play around. Have they got the damage to follow this one up? He's going to have a Ravage on everyone. Catches out 3. Only Cuckoo BKBs. Can they bring down this IO to start things off? They need to deal with this pesky IO, but they're dropping like flies. The PA doing so much damage in this fight. Carl about to be out of mana, which could be a problem for T1, but they're winning the numbers battle. They've killed off 3, including all 3 cores. Only the supports remain, and FNATIC just didn't have the damage to kill some of these heroes. Somehow the IO just never died in that fight.
Wonder if the play was to have the refresher shot instead of your phase boots on Tide. Because he got the 2 Ravages off, which was great, but then it felt like they needed a 3rd one just to finish the job, and they didn't have it because he had to move out of his backpack. Because Gabby was so low, and then because he didn't have the 3rd Ravage, he just satanicked.
And Zephyr having the Aeon Disc meant he gets himself out of the first Ravage, and the second Ravage hardly does anything because of the status resistance. So he was just healing up Gabby through it all as soon as the double Ravages were committed. And now we see T1 onto the high ground.
So close.
Well executed from T1. The new arrival of Gabby looking like it may be enough, putting him on his signature PA to get them a 2-1 victory. They're not there just yet. They've got Mega Creeps, but they're going to back off and play it safe, knowing Roshan is coming up soon. And in fact, it's going to be awaiting them as soon as they get to the pit. So perfect timing for T1 to fall back after getting Megas and get themselves Roche number 4, Aghanim's, and Refresher await.
Yeah, there's... It's much harder now for Fnatic. Obviously, they're Megas. They do still have the... Actually, I'm not sure. After that fight, seeing that 2 Ravages were not enough to kill Gabby. And they don't have 3 anymore. They do only have the 2. It could still be enough if they focus all their efforts onto him, but now he has an Aegis, so you just can't do that, right? And
it feels like someone needs to go on the Ire. Like, they were so committed on Gabby that Zephyr was just ignored. He was on, like, 25% health, and, like, someone like the Wraith King who can actually purge off. He's got the Witchbane. He can actually purge off the Aeon Disc. They need to address Zephyr in some way.
For sure. Between Lina and Wraith King, they have a lot of damage. Probably more than enough to take down both Gabby and Zephyr. I guess it's a problem if the rest of the heroes also need to be dealt with, right? Cuckoo has 2 arenas.
Yep. Even this, I mean, Leshrac being ignored, Carl will happily dish out a buttload of damage in the fight. Level 28, 4.5k health with the overwhelming blink. It's not just Gabby who's a threat in these team fights, but we'll see what the response from Fnatic is going to be. Gabby going to press forward with that Aegis in hand. Looking in is Raven, but yeah, the insta-split Earth is there. Just trying to keep them off the tier 4 towers, but you can't let them chip away at this one. As we saw last game, like, you can hold your own and not lose a team fight, but eventually the throne will just go down if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Level 25 Edict does a lot of damage. They jump in on the backline. DJ gets the roll up. They're trying to deal with this PA, but he gets relocated out back to safety for now. Can they take the continued fight here? Cole on the front lanes on the Leshrac, getting brought pretty low here. He gets the Lina BKB off just in time, but he can't do damage through the arena. Now Raven on the Wraith King doesn't have the respawn. Ravage finally comes out, but it's too late to keep the Wraith King alive, and the second Ravage just going to need to be thrown in a second here. Jabs is about to go down if he's not careful. He gets the Ravage off, but they're just losing steam here, and they GG out knowing it's all over for them. Without the Wraith King, they don't have the damage, and T1